Charlie, did you get your capstone yet?
I did, Lisa. I'm sorry. I got it on Friday. Yes,
Good,
it's
good.
beautiful. It is gorgeous. It's upstairs, but I could go get it and show it, actually.
Yeah, you should.
I will try to do that. All
Oh,
right.
let's see it, Charlie.
Okay. All right. We're live. So, hi, this is Charlie Zeiss with Stargate Pyramids. Joining me today are Lisa, Lori, and Bill. This is March 23rd, 2020. We have a program that we've had to modify from last week. We had originally expected to have Scott Borders on with us to talk about constructing pyramids from balsa wood. And he was unable to attend at the last minute because his mother is not feeling well. I think is in the hospital. So actually, it worked out that this is going to allow us to follow up on some of our previous episodes on sound healing. Bill McKenzie came up with a really neat experiment, which he and Lori and I I watched, but they did last week, and we're going to talk about that. And it demonstrates how far the energy field of the pyramid can be enhanced through stacking, and how far we were able to measure the energy field of his son. So fascinating information. Lisa's going to be talking today about a lot of the new projects that she has underway with capstones and platforms and other enhancements to the pyramid. And finally, we've got several other experiments that we're going to try to test for you as well today. Before we get started, we thought we'd go over just briefly what's going on, at least in our worlds, and how the coronavirus situation is affecting us. Um, I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the governor last week put some restrictions statewide on businesses that are available or that can stay open. My significant other's a dentist. They can't do elective procedures anymore. We're trying to sell a house, and the realtors can't work, the appraisers can't work, the mortgage loan processors can't work. So I know it's affecting my life quite a bit, but I'm staying in the pyramid as much as I can, using my sound frequencies to enhance my meditations. And so actually, even though the world is somewhat falling apart around us, Carol and I are doing fine, and really have no complaints at all. So Lisa, why don't you go next?
Yeah, so I am in Claysville, Pennsylvania. It's about a half an hour south of Pittsburgh, out in the country. So the only satellite service, this is really the only thing that's affecting me right now. The satellite service for the internet is all I can get. So now that all the kids are not in school, they're all on the internet. So it's lagging somewhat. It's actually working pretty good today, but last week when we were on, it was really lagging for me and hard for me to utilize. But my boyfriend is still working. He drives a dump truck. My son is still working. He works at a gas station. But most of the people, it's desolate when you're driving around. You mostly see the semis out and about. Not a lot of people at the grocery stores either right now, like there were last week. So, but it's opening up a lot of time for me to work on different advancements and enhancements, I should say, for the pyramids. So I'm blessed with that.
Fantastic. Lori, you want to go next?
Lori, did you want to go?
Sure. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. This is where they were bringing all of the people that had the coronavirus, especially off of the Princess cruise lines. And we have been lucky to only have 46 cases in our area, and quite quickly, quite fast, daycares, all of everything except for gas stations and stores. And it's seen even restaurant only get delivery or pickup They are very specific on a lot of things. I still take my grandson to daycare. His temperature is taken twice before he goes inside, and I cannot take him inside. Somebody else has to take him inside. So they're taking certain precautions. And I do know that only 10 children can be within the room, and the rooms have to be separated by walls. And so they're really strict and really particular on what they allow here. And I think it's been good for that reason, because it's been able to keep the numbers down. And as you look at it, it's just like a pyramid, if you will. You know, it starts out like the Fibonacci spiral, you know, 1 + 1 is 2, 2.
Oops.
You know, it applies that quick, not fast of how to, and we want anyone to get it. If you can stay home and if you can stay inside and self-quarantine, do it, because you don't want it.
Okay, Bill?
Yeah, I live in Golden, Colorado, and things here aren't quite as bad as elsewhere. People still are walking around outside. Kids are just having a grand time. People walking their dogs. People very friendly, smiling. I've only seen 2 people with masks. So I go to the grocery store. Although a lot of this stuff is hit pretty hard, you know, people don't seem too concerned about staying away from each other. There's no, you know, social distancing. You know, people aren't tiptoeing around each other. So things are pretty normal here, but I'm expecting that to change, it seems.
Okay. Well, with that as an intro, let's get started with today's slides. We're going to be oops. Let me get back here. Oops. Let's try this again. I knew I'd have a problem. Let's see. Well, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. Let's see. Can you see my slides at this point?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, it's not allowing me to. Well, this always happens when you go live. Let's see here. Well, folks, I apologize. This shouldn't be happening, but it is. Let me see what I can do here. Well, we'll just work with them off of, if this is okay, well, I don't know what's happening, but it's not working the way I'd like. Let's see if I can get this to, well, my apologies, folks. Let's see what pause share, new share. Let's see what this does. Well, Bill, while I'm trying to work this out, if you want to, maybe if you could just start to tell people a little bit about what your experiment, the experiment we're going to talk about a little bit later, and I'll try to work on getting the screen presentation up and running. Here we go. I got it. Sorry about that. Here we go. Sorry. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the Pyramid Science Foundation. A couple of things that are going on with the foundation since the last meeting. Lisa and I were originally members of this foundation board, along with another person who runs the Global Pyramid Conference. She had to resign for health reasons, and so Lori and Bill have now become members of the foundation. So now all four members of the Pyramid Quest team are members of the foundation board. Uh, and as a result, we're going to be migrating this program in the near future to a new Pyramid Science Foundation YouTube page and getting it off of my Stargate Pyramids website, because our YouTube page, because we feel that that's a better approach going forward. The foundation is looking to, as this program does, to look at all things pyramids. And so we're going to be migrating that to a new page in the near future. We'll certainly tell you about that as we go forward. We are looking, for, as always, for new members, for people to help us with the foundation and for donations. So if you're interested in assisting with the foundation, please contact us at info@pyramidsciencefoundation.org. Before we get started, I did this a couple of weeks ago. This is actually a room that has turned out to be a plant room for my significant other. She loves plants. And as you can see in the middle, about a month ago, I put a small 3-foot pyramid into the room. And I just thought quickly I'd show you a couple of results, which might just be anecdotal, but may not be. You can see we've got 2 Christmas cactuses next to each other. And what's fascinating is these 2 cacti are both at least blooming, one new bloom right next to the top of the pyramid, but no place else. So I thought that was kind of fascinating. And also you can see all of these bulb plants as well. Carol bought some bulbs actually off of Amazon from China. We got them last November, planted them. Nothing happened until we put the pyramid into the room, and now they begun sprouting and growing and look great. So anyway, we hope to be doing more agricultural type experiments as the weather gets better and we're able to do more of that type of work. So today Lisa's going to talk for a while about Capstone Energy, Capstone stands that she's making, and also amplifications for both the apex and base that she's working on now. And then we're going to be doing a number of experiments. The primary one today is going to be an experiment that Bill put together last week to demonstrate how far the pyramid sound frequency energy fields extend. But we're also going to be talking about some other topics regarding sound healing today. There are a number of harmonics that can be used with respect to the solfeggio frequencies we've been using. We're going to talk about and try to demonstrate to see which might be the best harmonic to use of those. We're also going to try to demonstrate and determine what's the best type of waveform. The various waveform generators can give you traditional analog, square waves, and so forth. So we're going to look at that as well. The length of time that we should be using for each of the frequencies. And also, we're going to be talking about working on remote healing with photographs and written names. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over now to Lisa so she can discuss the various things that she's doing with capstones and platforms and amplifiers.
Okay, hi everybody. So by now you all know that I'm the one that makes the custom capstones. We have some base models, but I also do the intuitive design customization, where if you send me a photo of yourself, I can tap into your energy and see what you need specifically for healing at that time to help amplify your energy, depending on crystals, colors, and the Bionized quartz sand that I actually utilize in them as well. But one of the advancements that I just recently started doing was placing this mini pyramid made of magnetite powder in the center of, sorry about that, in the center of all my capstones. So a similar shape inside of the regular shape, the larger shape is going to actually amplify it. And I'm going to utilize this for some other technology too, some other enhancements that I want to utilize for my pyramids. So I'm also now creating a base platform. So it's going to be about, this is just a wooden prototype. If you look up here at the apex, it's about a foot down from the capstone. And you can actually, let me raise this a little bit. You can actually place another capstone right below your capstone. And, you know, the findings of Lori and Bill, when they were testing the energies of the custom capstones, they found that that right below the apex is where you're going to get the most energy in this meditation pyramid frame. So it makes more sense putting the plate up there. It's going to be called the Apex Amp, and you can put your water up there and charge it. If you don't have time to sit near a meditation pyramid that day, go and drink the water. It's going to give you the same type of boost as if you were sitting in that meditation pyramid that day. Put your seeds up there. If you're a gardener,
and fruit.
Put your
You
seeds
mentioned
up
fruit.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lori was making banana bread the other day. I said, you should have put those in the pyramid. It would have preserved them a little longer. So you can use that Apex charger, the Apex amp, for a lot of different things. I'm also going to make 2 prototypes for that. One is going to be made just out of the Bionized quartz sand. And then the other is going to have some of the mini pyramids in it in a straight line, like a plate. So it'll have several of these mini pyramids all in a row, all in a square formation. And that's going to amplify that energy even more. So if you're sensitive to energy, you might want to start with the Bionized quartz sand one first, and then go to the one with the mini pyramids after that. I'm also utilizing the same type of products, I should say, for a base charger to put underneath your meditation chair at the base of your pyramid, your meditation pyramid. So it'll be a plate, a charger plate with many of these mini pyramids. Depending on how large you want it, it could possibly cover the whole entire base. It could be just a small circle that you place underneath your chair. But these are some of the products that I'm working on now. I don't have them for sale on my website, but if you're interested in maybe placing advanced orders, being the first in line to place those, just send us an email, info@pyramidsciencefoundation.org, right, Charlie?
Yep, that's fine.
Is that the email? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, just send us an email. Let us know. Charlie will send that to me, and you can be the first in line to get these new enhancements on our pyramids.
Fantastic. I know I'm looking forward to those. I was just watching actually a video yesterday on the Tartarian Empire, and I started seeing all of these photos of these complexes in Southeast Asia, of all of these pyramids, you know, lined up in a grid like you're talking about, and they had to have been involved with energy enhancements and healings in some form or fashion. So there's also been tons of work that was done back in the day by you know, the early pioneers like Patrick Flanagan in this area of research that confirms what you're talking about as well. So, all right, well,
Yeah.
we're ready to move
And I've
on.
also, well,
Go ahead.
real quick though, just one more thing. I had a lot of people ordering the Bionized quartz sand from me now as well. So if you want to add that into the poles like I have in my pyramid and amp up the energy of yours, I now sell that as well. So I've had several orders for that. But I also now offer the service. Charlie and I have been working in combination to offer this to you. If you order one of Charlie's pyramids and you want the Bionized quartz sand added to the poles, he will ship it directly to me. I'll add the sand and then ship it to you. So we're making it way more convenient for people that don't have time to do it. But most people are in quarantine now, so they have lots of time on their hands.
Right. Well, and I guess we might as well also remind people I'm offering, and I know you're offering, Lori, is various incentives through our coronavirus situation. I'm offering $30 off of any meditation pyramid through the middle of April, and we'll see how things are at that point. We may extend it, but just use Corona 30 in order to get that discount when you go to checkout on the website.
Well, and if anyone has Corona and would like a sound healing to contact me, we will definitely do that. We'd like to see how effective the sound healing is for those people that are self-quarantined that have been diagnosed with that. So.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I'm offering whoever orders either a capstone, custom capstone, or the Bionize Quartz Sand from me, you get a half-hour cosmic balance healing session from me. If you order both products, then you get an hour cosmic balance healing session from me for free.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're ready to move.
Nope, one more
more.
thing, Charlie.
Okay.
I just wanted to touch, sorry. We mainly were talking about this in the first place anyway, but so every week I want to have a little bit, like a 10 to 15 minute portion of the show that's going to focus on how pyramid energy has helped you. So I'm looking for people, connect with me, please, and let me know, I get messages every day on how the pyramid energy has been working for you in your healing practice, or you just even in your personal life, get a hold of me. We'd like to have you on the show and talk about that a little bit. Even if you can't come live on our show, you and I can connect and we can record your testimonials, really what we're looking for. That's going to really help other people know the power of the pyramids, and they're powerful, and we need you out there to help us spread the word. So send me an email and we'll connect that way. It's info@pyramidsciencefoundation.org. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm done.
Okay. All right, Bill, it's time to open it up to you. I'm going to get to the page that starts with the summary of the experiments that we did, and take it away.
All right, well, let me go to my pyramids and I'll join you guys now.
Okay.
So can you hear me, Charlie?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, so can you
Yeah, I'm going to.
turn my camera on?
Yep. Yeah, it's on now. Yep.
Okay, so it's probably, there's a better picture of it. So last week we were involved with the inner two pyramids, the two smaller ones. And the reason I got this idea was because 2 weeks ago, you had discussed some research from this guy up in Canada, JD.
Right.
Now he had stacked a couple of pyramids and noticed the torsion effect of water many miles away.
Right.
So everyone's got a good view of that. I'll just turn this off and go back if I can. There we go.
All right, I'm back. So, and then Lori got this idea of putting sound inside the pyramid. And I just sort of took all of this to its logical conclusion. So we got together on Thursday during the snowstorm, and we measured my son Tucker's energy before we started all this. And his energy reading was 11,000. So I had then turned on I have a phone at the base of the smallest pyramid with the frequency generator app on it. And when we turned it on, his energy went from 11,000 to 800,000. So, I mean, he wasn't in the pyramid, and he was in the next room actually. And so the idea was then to get in my car and then start driving to a point where his energy got back down to close to his original 11,000 reading. And I kept driving, and it was about 11 miles away when I decided to turn around. So how this works was basically Lori was like a virtual passenger in my car, and as I kept driving, she could feel his energy until the point where it sort of dropped off. And maybe Lori would like to sort of talk about that since she was experiencing.
Yeah. So, right. Initially, you did this on yourself, and that was the cool thing is you did it on yourself one day, correct, Bill?
I did a dry run.
And so, yes. And so we decided to do this with your son Tucker. And what was interesting is you could hear Tucker hadn't even gone under the pyramid, hadn't done anything with the pyramid at all. It was just for the pyramid automatically right then, right there. And then what we did is we followed his energy 11 miles out and could not believe how his energy was still creating a positive high frequency. So that would be, the radius of 11 miles around from where he was. And it's just amazing to me that these pyramids do that. I know someone knew when they started with these pyramids that they did this, but for us to actually have proof and know and have the feeling, it's just amazing to me. And so you have to start thinking of other things that are affected, all the animals, the earth, the water, the air, all of those things are being affected by this high frequency everywhere. So that's pretty cool.
And I should add that the frequency I was using at the time was the 963. So it was just the base high-end solfeggio frequency. And
of the crown chakra, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it wasn't we've tried much higher ones that had a more positive effect. So, yeah, the interesting thing was that, Tucker didn't even know we were doing this to him. He was just sitting in the other room, and we just turned on this frequency generator, the beacon, and as I call it, and he just was bathed in this torsion field. So I then decided, well, I gotta put another stack on this. So as you guys just saw, I have 3 pyramids stacked now. And I've got the 2 foot inside the 5 foot inside the 8 foot. And I've now, I generated some files, frequency files of the original solfeggio frequencies, the 174 all the way up to the 963. And I installed another app on that phone where it plays the frequencies in a loop. So, and I just sort of, doused for what would be the optimal length of time to play each frequency. So we're going to do that again with Lori. I didn't do it with Lori. And so it's a 2.5 minute time frame for each frequency on a loop. And it's been running for like 3 days now. And I gotta tell you, I've had some of the best sleep ever in a long time because of this. And I hope it's helping people. I mean, that's sort of the purpose, to help people.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna
Absolutely.
try
Yes.
and find out how far this configuration will go out. I have a feeling it's gonna blow my socks off, and yours too, I hope. But I asked Lori before the show if she could tap into Tucker and find out what his base uh, frequency is now. He's probably asleep right now. So again, he's just, you know, not even aware of what's going on. And what did you say his energy was at the time, Lori?
8 billion.
Eight.
8 with a B. Yep.
So his energy went up, what, 10,000 times because
Right.
of new configuration?
Right.
So I'm not going to get in the car and drive because I think I'd have to drive to Kansas to find out. So we're gonna ask Lori if she can.
I was gonna say, yeah, after learning and doing this, we don't need to do that any longer.
No.
I can literally just see, and I know you can douse to see as well, how far his energy is going out. And I'm just going to quickly take a second to do that. I get 888 miles. So, I mean, you got to think it goes all the way around him, like in a circular area, covering that much. To me, that is just amazing.
Well, that's quite a number, because if that's what you truly feel, then you should actually feel his energy where you are.
Right.
Because
Right.
you're only about 600 miles from me.
Right.
Is that in fact true? Do you actually feel
It is
his energy from
absolutely
where you
true.
are?
It
That
is
is
absolutely true.
incredible. That's incredible. Wow.
Now, Bill, can you douse right now to see what you get for Tucker's energy?
And distance as well.
And distance as well?
Well, I was sort of on the same page with his energy level.
Yeah. Okay.
I had gotten 10 billion.
Okay.
It's
That's
very
close
close.
enough.
But in terms of the distance, I thought, I'll do it again. Yeah, I'm only getting 170 miles, but I mean, that's still an incredible number. I mean,
Yeah.
Now just think about this, because the other day you were getting 144, and wasn't he only 800,000 at the time? I can't recall to be correct because I didn't write it down, but
Yeah, it was 800,000.
yeah. So with the two,
and you were going 144 miles.
no. So the slide we're looking at, this is relating to the double stack.
Right.
And now we're talking about the triple stack, the 3 pyramids.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Bill was getting that kind of a distance before.
So the reason I got 140 miles with the triple stack.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, it sounds like 800 is probably 888. The number, because Lori's actually feeling his energy where she is.
Right.
And she's, I don't think any more than 600 miles. I don't think Omaha's 600 miles away from me. Probably less, 550 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably closer to 800 than 140,
Sure.
which
Sure.
is amazing. Lori, can you get a sense of sort of a percentage of of his 8 billion.
What I'm feeling of that, I mean, because I can feel the energy, like I've mentioned before. It's just a constant, almost like motion. And then what is the degree that I'm getting his energy at? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Yeah. Because then we can sort of validate from another angle. Or maybe it's easier to ask, what is his level that you're feeling?
Okay, so I'm actually getting about 2 million at this distance. So he went from 8 billion where he is, and this is slowly tapering off to 2 million. But I still think that's a high number. That's an extremely high number that I'm getting.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's probably going to put it, closer to maybe 600 miles, something like that, 700 miles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still a very large distance that this torsion field is reaching out from my house.
That's right. No, it's enormous.
And I guess we really haven't even, I hadn't really thought about this, but there must be a height component involving this also. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
so I mean, how far below the earth and
Surface?
above the
Yeah.
surface does it go? Also, one of them.
Let's take a look at that, because I'm getting the same. As it is going out, it's the same going above and below.
I'll say
So
the sphere.
yeah, that's exactly it. I didn't even think of that. That's a good thought there, Bill.
Well, there's going to be some people in some underground bases that are not going to like this.
That's okay. That's all right. We're for good intentions. If they're doing good intentions, then no problem.
Yeah, right.
I had read where the Russian Air Force investigated the energy from the that big tall one that they built in Russia.
Yeah, that's the Russian healing pyramid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one that David Wilcock always talks about. Yeah.
So it was affecting something in the atmosphere because they sent their military to investigate.
Yep. Yeah, they figured that the energy generated by that pyramid, it would take all of the electric generating capacity in the entire Russian nation to generate the amount of energy that the pyramid was generating, which is just an unfathomable amount of energy in my view. I can't even comprehend that, but so it's pretty amazing. So Bill, where do you think you're going to want to take this as kind of a next step? I was thinking of things even over the evening, and it would be interesting to see if we can, if there's any sort of way to try to quantify this in over distances other than say, Lori, of course, is a great idea, but I don't know. Have you just got any other thoughts on how to expand this or confirm it?
Well, I think, we're going to do some testing in a little bit here on some of just what I call variables or parameters.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the efficacy of what we're doing, I'm not really sure how we can test it. So, I mean, we're probably going to need to have people call in or write us or, with problems and see if we can't heal them at a distance, because, the whole purpose of this was for me to sort of get something going to help people as quickly as possible.
Right. Right. For the coronavirus. I have a listener that may be coming on now that does have a coworker that has now been hospitalized, and she wants to do this with her. And I am ready and willing to do it immediately. And I know Marza is listening to our show. I'm so grateful she's listening. I know she is updated with us with the stuff that she has helped other people out there that have been infected, and she has had some success. I wish she could be on right now, but she is just waking up. So I don't blame her. She needs all the rest she can get during these times, because I'm sure as I am extremely busy, she is as well. So, but she's had a lot of success. From what we read recently, Charlie, if you recall her email she sent us.
Yes, that's right.
So I'm grateful for those updates and letting us be aware that these frequencies are really helping. So if you have people out there that have the coronavirus, that have some symptoms, contact us. We want to get them on this and want to see if we can't clear it with this.
Fantastic. Okay, let's move on to some of the other areas that we want to discuss today in terms of experiments. One of the things that I did, we were using up until this week a list of 7 frequencies. I found over the weekend a 9-tone solfeggio frequency list, and it's showing up on the page now. The 2 new frequencies that we have added to the list is the 174 hertz and the 285. They were not previously in our 7-tone frequencies. The 174, as described as a natural anesthetic, relieves pain, gives your organs a sense of safety, love, and security. The 285 hertz solfeggio frequency heals and regenerates tissues, restructures damaged organs, and by sending messages to them, bringing them to original form. So you can come back if you'd like. I'll try to post this list on my website, as we're going to do with some of the tone frequencies that we come up with after this class session today. So you don't need to copy these down. I'll have these available for you, either I'll put these in the comments section as well of this video. So one of the things that I did this week as well, I was interested as one of the variants to check out whether the primary frequencies that we're all used to seeing, which are in the left-hand column called primary frequency on this page, were actually the best frequencies for use, or whether there would be some advantage to using harmonics of that. Now, what I did in this chart, for those of you who have played music before, you know that an octave is a frequency that is exactly twice that of the base frequency, and then the next octave beyond that would be 2 times larger again, and so forth. So what I did, harmonics in music theory are actually only integral multiples. So you could have a second harmonic, a third harmonic, fourth, fifth, and so forth, as we'll see in a moment. But the octave harmonics are the ones that are going to be the most, provide the most amplitude to the underlying tone as a harmonic of the primary. So what I've done here is to list out the primary, second, fourth, eighth, and 16th harmonics. I'll put this out as well on either the YouTube page or somewhere else on my website after the show. But the other thing that's of interest that I was going to have Tom talk about today, Tom's not with us, but the numerical reductions of each of these. And I find this pattern to be very fascinating, because a reduction is where you add up the sum of the digits in a particular number. For example, let's look at 174. You add those 3 digits together and you get the number 12. And then you add the digits 1 and 2 together and you get the number 3. So that's the way numerical reduction works. And what's interesting to me is that this, when you reduce these numbers in that fashion, the primary frequencies in the solfeggio healing frequency sequence have a pattern of 369, 369, 369, which I think is fascinating. The second harmonic, however, begins with a different number, but it still follows the same pattern, 639, 639, 639. And then it alternates back and forth, 369, 369, 639, 369, and so forth. So I don't know the significance of that. If there's people out there who can discuss that and give us some insights, but there seems to be an important and significant pattern in these reductions of these numbers. And as we all may remember, Nikola Tesla says that if you want to understand the universe, you have to look at the significance of 3, 6, and 9. So these frequencies seem to fit that bill. What I've done on the next 2 pages, I've gone through and I've put down all 16 harmonics in a list. And I just wanted to show you briefly how that looks, because you end up with yet an even more interesting numerical reduction pattern. Again, we have the primary frequencies with a pattern of 369, 369, 369. The second harmonic is 639, 639, 639. But the third harmonic in this series, as we move forward, you'll see this, is 999, 999, 999. And that occurs with the same pattern over the 16 frequencies. So if you'll see the fourth frequency, 369, fifth frequency, 639, fifth harmonic, seventh, 999, eighth, 369, or excuse me, 639, and then the same thing continues on until we go through all of the 16 harmonics. So there's something that is numerically significant there that I'm going to want to study and learn about some more. But one of the things that I wanted to do now with Lori and Bill was to see if, looking at least for starters with these harmonic frequencies, whether they could figure out whether a particular harmonic, whether it be the second, fourth, eighth, or 16th, would actually be more beneficial than the primary frequency itself. And I've done some work myself, but I'm going to reserve judgment until, I find out from them what they're feeling. So I guess what I'd ask you guys is to look at those frequencies and see what you come up with, whether one of these sets of harmonics is more beneficial than another one.
Well, I'd love for Bill to chat just for a moment. He read the book Be Here Now, and he talked about some stuff about consciousness. Bill, would you like to chat about that for a second?
You mean the fact that it's great to get these frequencies, but if you don't do the inner work, then you're really limiting yourself to just...
Right. You said that Ram Dass had like 3 criteria of consciousness or something to that effect. Do you remember that?
Yeah, sure. So he was just discussing that there are really 3 ways to raise your consciousness. And the first is you have an experience, or you're born with sort of abilities, I would say, like yourself, Lori, where it's just it's baked into you, and you take it for granted that there's something else going on out there that most of humanity has no idea about. And then the second is where I would say I fit into this camp, where you infer it, which means that you either read about it, either through books or scripture or holy text, or you sort of go to camps, be in an ashram or something. And then the third way is you just have faith and you believe it even though you haven't experienced it, and you get it that way.
You know, and I'm going to talk about a woman that was a devotee of Babaji out of India. She went to go be with this guru and ended up saying that she wanted to be enlightened and really have this wonderful, profound energy that we're talking about. So Babaji took some cymbals and just banged them and made her, with the sounds of the cymbals, hit that frequency she was looking for. Now, because he did that, it made her kind of shudder inside internally and not quite know how to do or what to do, because she went from a particular type of consciousness to a very high consciousness. And what I've learned, the way that I've learned, you've got to slowly do it in order to fit into your energy. So when Charlie talks about these different frequencies, what I look at, everyone can do the lower frequencies and they're going to get a benefit from it. But I would slowly work up to the higher ones. If you're just getting into it, my suggestion is to start with the lower frequencies first and then slowly work up to the bigger ones. And I knew Michael Phillips would come on here and help us out here. He says the natural physical realm starts in spiritual. The 369 occurs in nature. Many technologies are plagiarism of nature. And I know Lisa mentioned the Flower of Life. And if you've ever read about the Flower of Life, there's a good book out there called The Flower of Life. There's a volume 1 and 2. They're both very good, but it speaks about the flower of life and how it works. And everything throughout history is talking about the flower of life. All the answers are within that flower. So it's just kind of interesting how Michael said that. Also, you know, Marza Millar has a great idea here. We can take remotely over areas of population in the geographic area and send frequencies over that area as a remote healing. And I think that's a fantastic idea to try after we did this experiment with Bill's son and recognize that this frequency can go so far and do so much. We could also go and do this as well. So I like that idea. But again, getting back to these frequencies, Charlie, that you're talking about, I would slowly work up to those frequencies.
Okay. But it's your feeling that the higher the harmonic, the higher the frequency, the more powerful it's going to be?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, now that you've said that, I'll tell people what I found. I talked about my left ankle and right knee. I broke my left ankle about 10 years ago and been favoring it. And sitting under the pyramid without any sound healing frequencies has probably taken care of probably 80% of the problem for me. But since I started doing these sound frequencies, and more recently started using the 174 frequency for aches and pains, I've last 3 or 4 days been using the 16th harmonic for that. And I have to tell you, it's like I'm a new person because I'm not having any pain whatsoever in either my left ankle or my right knee anymore. So I'd really like for those of you who have not tried these frequencies before, particularly if you have aches and pains, start with the 174 frequency for pain, but it seems to have done a lot of good for me, and hopefully it will for you as well. So.
Well, let's just check your energy really quick here. Bill and I can check your energy since you've done that as well. Because what we found is once you do these frequencies within the pyramid, you usually maintain them. And like I said, I just did those this morning as we were getting prepared for this live stream. So I'd like to check on my frequency as well.
Okay.
So we'll start with you, Charlie. Bill, are you up for this?
Yeah.
All right.
somewhere around 50 to 70 billion.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, just imagine that. And let's just talk about what was going on with your pains, because I want to talk to people about this just for a moment, because I've had this happen to me time and time again, that it could be a person in your life that is in your sphere and you talk to them a lot, or maybe communicate to them a lot. You kind of let things slide and push them aside, and you kind of let things go instead of speaking your voice, and something might start happening to your body that you don't recognize. Wow, this is kind of putting me off and putting me off and putting me off. And what's happening is when you come into this pyramid and you start getting back into those frequencies and having those sound healing frequencies realign you, it clears that negative energy that's like taking you off your alignment, and it's aligning you back up to you. And what I found, the more I did things like this, the more those people that were negative, that weren't positive, that, you know, were stepping over boundaries and things like that, have all fallen aside. And it's amazing because you recognize them very quickly. And, you know, most of us that do, you know, healing energy work with people recognize we cannot help or save or do any of these things for these people. They have to do it for themselves. We're just the medium. We're the conduit to connect them, to help them get somewhat further and understand their own spirit, mind, and body and how it works. And what I've recognized is this pyramid gets you there quicker and faster if you're really looking for that, if you want to do the work. And that's the most important thing. It doesn't come easy. It just doesn't. You need to do the work. Meditation is important. Sound frequency healing is important. Sitting in a pyramid is important.
Okay.
Couldn't have said it better. So let's do you, Lori. Let's see what your energy is.
Alrighty.
It's going to take me a while to calculate because you are officially off the chart. So
I resonate. I'll take it.
okay, so let's see here. Okay, so 14 times 3, 42 plus 12. What's that, 55?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Charlie, help me with this now because I'm doing it.
This is 55
55
zeros afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Wow.
Now you're in.
So let's.
Who's here?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Or it's close. Yeah, it's still good morning for you, Bill. Hi,
Yeah.
Tucker.
Hey, everybody. Okay.
Can he see us, or is he seeing
Oh, yeah.
the sounds?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm just thinking, how many miles does that go out to? And does it surpass the Earth, which I get a yes. So does it go any further? Yeah, okay. Well, good. The energy is getting to the sun and a few other places. So I like that. Take it.
Yeah.
I will take it.
That would, I mean, what do you get for your own number?
I was getting 8 and several zeros afterwards. So I was getting 8 and 6 zeros afterwards. So I find that interesting. Very close. Very close.
So I think we should let people know that, you know, at the top end of the scale, I had asked the question, so what is the frequency for unconditional love? And you had replied 444. And so that's just an enormous number. It kind of, and we're really not even close to being near that number. Although we seem to be making progress. I know I do seems like every time. And you've certainly gone,
Right.
off the charts. And I might add that Lisa, when we did her, she was off the charts also. So,
Right.
Yeah. I'd be eager
Right.
to see how Charlie's energy is affected with his capstone I just sent him.
Well, yeah, it's upstairs. I ought to go get it and see, but
Oh yeah, you were gonna get that,
Yeah.
weren't you?
I was,
Yeah,
I
go get
was,
it.
and
Let's
it's
check
up.
it out. But what I want to tell people is I've been doing the sound frequency healing on the lower end of the scale on a daily, and today is the first time I did the upper scale that Charlie mentioned, and I couldn't believe what a difference it made energetically for me. I mean, I do get something at the lower end as well, but to get those upper scales, that's pretty incredible. Have Lisa or Bill, have you done those yet?
I mean, the
I
higher.
just did the test.
Yeah.
I didn't try them yet.
No,
Just
Okay.
when we were doing the testing.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Yeah, wait till you try these. You're gonna love these. To me, it just
I could
felt
feel
like
the difference.
it felt like an ocean. The ocean, I'm just kind of swimming, so it felt really good. I have a note from Marza that I want to share with everyone, but I'd like Charlie to be here when we talk about it.
So while we're waiting, I would like to say that when we're done with this, I'm going to create some files of these tones, the solfeggio tones and the harmonics, and I'll create zip files that Charlie can then put on his website for people to download.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Charlie, when you were gone, I was saying that Marza sent me an email, and here's what she says. After talking to my dear friend in Queens, I decided to do a remote healing over a geographic area. So sat in the pyramid with the scalar wave, is that how you say that?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Sherry's frequencies for CB, and envisioned her, and then sent that out to everyone in the area. Marza's son is about a mile away, so I envisioned him and sent those frequencies to him, those that were surrounded in the geographic area. So she's waiting to hear how that'll help, and she'll keep us posted. But what a brilliant idea! And I loved how one time she had mentioned about the getting it on a ley line and really sending the frequency out. So that's another great idea we can do if each city is on the ley lines that are going through the city, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, Bill, I don't. Is Blair your sister?
Yes.
She says.
Yeah, she says hi to
Thanks
Tucker.
to all of you. Hi, Tucker. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping there are more family members on today. So.
All right, fantastic. So anyway, we'll move on to the next topic, which is the question of what type of wave to use. Now, there's a sine wave, there's square waves. I don't know if any of you have done any research yourself on that. I'm just going off of instinct from being a musician that I would think that a sine wave would be best, but I'm going to throw it out and see if you guys can, what you come up with.
I get a sine wave.
Okay. And you, Lori, are you getting anything?
Well, remember the other day we talked about this, and I was getting the square, not the sine.
You were. Okay. So maybe we,
Lisa, you're
Now, I did ask,
muted.
Yeah, I was getting the square wave the other day as well as I am today.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
looks
I
like
asked-
something we need to do more research on.
I asked Tom, and he gave me a very detailed answer. So he didn't exactly answer my question, but he did. Well, in terms of healing, so
Oh,
and
okay.
he did
Okay.
give a very detailed explanation as to the differences between the 4 different types of waves. So
What does the frequency wave look like that we put out?
right now, I'm using sine waves. So
So Tom is saying a square wave adds odd harmonics. Is that what he was
I
saying
think
to
that's
you?
what he explained. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here's my thought process behind that. And I don't know if I'm getting it intuitively or what, but sometimes you need things to break up the frequency, and that might break it up to do what it needs to do. That's what I'm resonating to.
That's what I was feeling. It brings more balance to it. If it brings more odd frequency, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It would be interesting to test that out.
We'll have to design a test for that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you bring your capstone? Can we see it?
I couldn't find it. I hate to say. It's
Oh.
upstairs. It's
Charlie!
upstairs. Carol may have taken it somewhere and put it somewhere.
Charlie, it's probably in
We'll
the
have to do
workshop.
that next week.
Is it in the
Well,
workshop?
No, it's not in the workshop.
Okay.
I designed yours specifically, mostly for abundance. There's actually a lot of pyrite in it. The main crystal's pyrite, but there's also granulated pyrite in it. There's gold leaf sprinkled through the bionized sand as well. And the very bottom layer is diatomaceous earth, which is very high in silica. So I'm excited to see, because that's a new thing that I've been adding to some of my capstones, was the diatomaceous earth. So I'm eager to see how that aspect changes the frequency of it too.
Well, it arrived on Saturday, and I found the box when I went upstairs, but I couldn't find the capstone. So anyway, we'll have to
That's
do
what
that.
I'm kind of, I've been leery on shipping pyramids, because of everything that's going on, but everything's been getting there pretty much safely. So
Yeah. Well, the last
Yeah.
question we were going to try to answer today, I believe, was also the length of time to use each frequency, Bill. So tell us what you decided on that.
Well, I mean, the only reason I'm even thinking of this is because Sherry said in her PDF from her website that you don't want to use her binaural beat frequencies for more than a minute because if you do, it could actually start to unwind and go the other way, all the good stuff that it's doing. So then I just thought, well, okay, so is there an optimal length of time to play each of these frequencies? And are they different for each of them? So I did an initial investigation, and we can just work through it. We'll start with the 174. What do you get, Lori? Let's start with number of seconds.
For like the optimal length of time to do the 174 in your pyramid?
Yeah,
Is that what you're asking me?
right.
Yeah. and the
Okay, so
number of seconds.
I worked with, seconds, because I was working with Tom. We created a file that you do it 3 minutes for each one of those tones. And he created that out there. That was the minimum. I've had people on, whether it was the first, second, or third chakras, have them be in underneath the tone for 40 minutes because it was taking a lot to get where they needed to be. And what I find so interesting about that is the lower frequencies take longer, but the upper frequencies weren't taking as long to get aligned and adjusted to.
Okay.
So that tells me that the first, second, and third chakras are the most difficult ones for people when they're getting a sound healing.
So which frequencies would you attribute, because we now have 9 and there's only 7 chakras, which one would you attribute to the root?
Yeah, we actually have 22 chakras, and of course they go out dimension wise as well. So what we're only doing is the first 7, and the frequency, which I think the first was 17. Or was it 328? It's like 328, 417, 528.
396 is the root chakra.
Okay, so 396, 417, 528, and so on.
Right.
And so when people come to me, I can tell when their chakra has been aligned and acclimated to that, and then I'll tell them to go on to the next one. Or if there's a clearing that needs to be done in that area so they can move on, I'll clear it energy. But for people doing it on their own in their pyramid, I've just suggested 3 minutes.
Okay.
You
Another-
said, Lori, the bottom chakras take longer. One thing I would recommend is what I do in my pyramid. In the summertime, I put mine outside so my feet are actually on the ground and I'm grounding my energy a bit more. If you can't do that, get a grounding mat and hook it up to the electrical outlet, the grounding outlet of your home. And it's going to give you that same experience, but inside your home.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. And Scott Borders is asking if we can explain to him the best app to download and use for the frequencies.
It depends on the type of phone that you have, but one that I find particularly good personally is called Frequency Sound Generator. And the reason why I like that one is that it has two tunings, dials, so you can move more quickly to the right tone. In other words, there's a fine tune and a gross tuning to get it to the right frequency. It moves faster. I don't know if people can see this, but this is what it also has 3 different tunings that you can preset, so you don't have to spend a whole lot. You can save a little time before you get started, or tune the next one while you're doing the one you're working on now, so you can alternate, not have to spend as much time. So again, that one's called Frequency Sound Generator. And I think that I know it's available for Android. I think it's available for iPhones as well. I'm not sure.
So Tom is suggesting the function generator on the iPhone for Scott out there. And then Tom also said, in general, I believe a constant frequency will become an irritant if it is unchanging for a long period of time and could possibly damage the DNA. So I'm assuming the constant frequency is a square signal.
I think he's just saying playing the same frequency for a long time.
Just any. So no, he wasn't talking about the, okay. And then Jesse Burster, I hope I'm not chopping up your name. I use Soul Star Chakra 12 degree, or is it 12 feet above the head, or chakra, in addition to the common 7 ones for beginners. I use Soul Star Chakra 12 foot above the head and the Earth Star Chakra 12 foot below the feet, in addition to the common 7 ones for beginners. Marza says Quantum Frequency Technologies app works for her. 12 inches. Okay. So Jesse is saying you got it right. 12 inches is what she's saying above the head, and the Earth Star 12 inches below the feet, in addition to the common 7 ones. Great. That's awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
The only other comment I'd make, Lori, about the clearing frequencies, I wonder whether the lower chakra frequencies that you were using were taking longer by mere fact that you are using a lower frequency, and whether the higher harmonics
Well,
of
yeah,
that may clear more quickly.
I would agree with you. I'd absolutely agree with you. I didn't try this on one gal that her meniscus was really bad, and it has tremendously changed, but I would love to try these higher frequencies on her because I know these would help her. And, you know, she's been working a long time on her spirituality. So I know these would benefit her very nicely.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's probably about it for today. Bill's going to send me these MP3s. I'll be putting that as well as these frequency tables on my website, and so we'll put links in the comments section of this to their availability on the website. So I'll open it up now for closing comments from each of you. Anyone?
No, I just want to remind everybody real quick about what we're looking for. You know, testimonials. We'd love to hear from you and how Pyramid Energy has worked for you. What are you doing? Are you using sound frequencies? Are you amplifying the energy with other pyramid shapes? Are you using different crystals? You know, there's a lot of ways that we can utilize this pyramid energy. Do you have family members that are now getting interested in what you're doing because they're seeing how it's affecting you positively? You know, are you an energy healer? Are you using it to enhance your readings for people if you're a medium, or your connection to people when you're an energy healer? There's a lot of ways that you can use this. So get a hold of us, info@pyramidsciencefoundation.org, and let us know. We could have you on as a guest and you can do your testimonial. Even if you just want to write in, I can read your testimonial on here and let people know how it's being used. But we'd really appreciate all that information. And I'm sure other people will as well.
Okay. Bill, have any closing words?
I would like to say thanks to whoever is watching from my family, and appreciate it. And I would say that Dr. Giz, you could probably order a pyramid or build one yourself, because that's what you do best, and put it in the barn and start generating healing frequencies, not only for your neighborhood, but more importantly for your daughter, Gracie, who had a bone marrow transplant last summer. So you could probably use a little help here. So thank you.
Lori?
I just am grateful for everyone that watches the show, gives us great information. Keep it coming. That's what we're here for. If you have any great information, research information about pyramids, please contact us. We want to start logging it, getting it out to people, getting information, good scientific information out to people about the pyramid and what it does for people. So thank you.
All right. As always, we thank you for watching Pyramid Quest. Please feel free to tell your friends about Pyramid Quest. And as always, we thank you for watching, and you have a great day.